Let's take this back a little bit with my sit down with Mr. Henry CLARE. Barry Holmes is in the building.
Bohemian boxing reporting live and direct, so with all due respect, cut my check. I'm here with
Henry CLARE.
Fresh out the ring. We already know what happened because the symbols on over your left shoulder let us know what's going on. What's the outcome?
I had a tough fighter. He was in his 30s. I'm only 19. It was a tough fight all around. I'm used to boxing. You know, it was a little bit more scrappier than that. He started catching up to me. We started to have to fight inside, and I just dug a little bit more deeper, and that affected the outcome.
So, were you in the Ringmasters this year?
Yes, I was in the Ringmasters, and I actually signed up early. I jumped into the tournament, which I fought for 5 months. I fought throughout the whole Metros with a fractured hand, and I lost in the finals to the same kid I lost in the first fight in the Ringmasters. So that was kind of tough love. I knew I was gonna run into him because he's a great fighter. The kid I fought in the Ringmasters. I was just hoping that I would catch him up to him like semifinals, so he'd make a real good fight for the fans, you know.
I'll be sure to make sure there's some footage beside this interface that we're having right now of the fight that's went down at Cinco de Mayo, because that's where we at right now in Dumbo, Brooklyn. Electrifying fight. My favorite, the crowd's favorite, was round 2. Tell us about round 2, because you made a reference to how you had to dig, and that's what determined the outcome of you being victorious right now.
The end of the second round, the ref told us to break, and he clipped me 2 times. After the ref told us to break, I was like, all right, that's how you want to go. And then I really got in deep. I like made a really tight fist, and I threw as hard as I could freaking throw. And I nailed him a few times, threw him off balance, and then I just kept at that pace. It kind of ruined me a little bit because I dug so deep in the second round. It kind of stretched me thin for the third round. But the third round, I still dug, that much deeper to pull out the fight.
Boxing being such a daunting sport. Highs and lows, and I share this with almost any subject that I sit down with, because I can empathize with them and I can also sympathize. The bag work, the drills, the road work, the losses, the wins, the training camp, following command from your coach, the mid work, so on and so on, the sacrifices, having to abstain from sex when you're in concentration camp, getting prepared for a fight. How do you deal with the dualities of being a 19-year-old and being such a sport, being part of such a sport that demands so much of you on a daily basis?
Well, that's actually a really tough question. I could actually talk on for a while about this. I do auxiliary police. I work almost full-time. I'm a full-time student, and I just, I make that time. If you really want something at the end of the day, you make the time. And, I'm not someone that's going to do boxing, go home, and then rest the rest of the day, because a lot of these guys do it, and that's their whole life. But I know I'm capable of more. I know I could do boxing and other things, and I want to be that. I want to be like Oscar De La Hoya. He won the Olympics and also finished law school in the same summer. Like that's the things that you like to hear about boxers. Boxers that don't only box and that's all to them. They have a more of a story to it. And the reality of it is I have a great coach. My coach Patty Bastiano in Barry Holmes in Staten Island. And we go everywhere. We go to Flatbush to spar. We go all over Brooklyn, go to Jersey sometimes. But the actuality of everything is that I'm not someone that has a perfect record. I like to think I'm a good fighter and stuff like that. But someone having a perfect record doesn't tell you that they're a good fighter. I've seen guys that get in the ring with 20-0, especially in the pros, 20-0. And then they get in with someone else that has 10 and 6, and a 10 and 6 wipe the floor with them with the 20-0. The reality of it is that you don't judge a book by its cover, and
a lot of those guys are protected with those undefeated records. They put in there with guys that they know they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Designed that way.
It was made for them to succeed. And I've had my whole life I've been somewhat of the underdog. I've always had the scales tipped against me, but I like that. I honestly do like that, because when someone sees me and they underestimate me, and then I fight them and I win, it just goes to show you, don't judge a book by its cover. So yeah,
Okay, I appreciate that. Very thorough answer. Last but not least, tell me, what are you fighting for?
I'm looking to go pro. I used to be sure about the Olympics, but there's so much politics in boxing. I want to go pro. I'm going to the cadets, so I plan on being a police cadet and going to NYPD. But I do want to be a pro, and I just want to see where it takes me. You know, if I have the skills in my favor and everything works out, hopefully I could be making those $1 million fights that you see on TV. You know,
You definitely got the talent and the will, man.
people that see me on thank you.
Absolutely.
And people see me at the end of my fights and they say that to me, and I really appreciate that. You know, I try to be humble. I don't want to sound cocky, but you know, that really helps boost the confidence, and it really tells you, because you know, going in the ring, no matter if you're the greatest in the world or the worst, you'll have doubts. You know, and
Just being human.
yeah.
Designed to have insecurity.
And that's the truth of the matter, is that you're human, and you know, you'll doubt your ability. But when it goes there, when you go in the ring, that's the time to deep, and then you find out who you really are. And when people congratulate you and stuff like that and tell you this, and you hear that stuff, it really makes you believe in yourself, and it pushes me to want to do better. I want to be a world champ, you know, one day. You know.
Absolutely. I think
And-
you will be, man. You
Thank
definitely
you.
have the will and the talent to pull that off. You know.
I mean, with the police too, is like I only want to do that because I'm in the New York City Cops and Kids team, and I've seen police officers one-on-one helping out the youth, you know, and making a positive outcome. And that's exactly what I want to do. I don't want to only be the guy that benefits himself. I want to be able to help other people too. You know, I'm more fortunate than a lot of other people, and a lot of people say they have it bad, but I'm sure there's someone else in the world that has it worse. And I just want to make the world a better place for everyone all around. You know, I want the kids to stop, you know, resorting to gun violence, come in the gym, you know, put on the boxing gloves, to resort to this violence, go to jail, die for nothing. You know, that's not the reality of the world, you know. You can live a fulfilling life, and you can come from nothing. If someone else has come from nothing and made something of themselves, that means you could do it too. Excuses are the number one thing I hate. Like I said before, I fought with a fractured hand 5 months. Did I complain about it? Yeah, I had rough days, but at the end of the day, I fought. I did what I had to do.
I did. I really enjoyed this, man. I appreciate your time. What's on the fight calendar? Where should we expect to see you at next?
I believe I'm fighting in Staten Island around the end of June. I can't tell you the exact date off the top of my head. I believe it's the 26th. But again, you don't mark me by my word. Yeah, and thank you so much. You know, my Instagram is Henry_Clare, CLARE, if anyone wants to follow me. But thank you, I appreciate it.
I'll pull up at the gym. I think you'll be a good feature for Bohemian Boxing Report. All right?
Next fight, I hope you guys are there. Hope we can do another one.
Okay.
I hope the same outcome.
Good. All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bohemian Boxing reporting live and direct. So with all due respect, cut my check.